This week on Not Sauce for Work, Terry Tam joins us remotely while Eagle is on his perch. I fight off vacation brain and we talk Zack Wilson's pillow talk, the business of loyalty, and homemade snacks. We'll also take a minute to talk about Anthony Rizzo, but not really. We'll get into this and much more on this episode of Not Sauce for Work on the Hot Sauce Sports Podcast Network. Welcome everyone. You were listening to it, perhaps watching Not Sauce for Work on the Hot Sauce Sports Podcast Network. How is everyone doing? By that I mean, of course, Terry and Eagle, not the people who can't answer back.
My paper airplane was a fail.
Yeah, there's no way you would work for NASA. Which, by the way, have you seen the pictures from outer space over the last couple of days?
No.
Okay. Intro topic concluded.
What about these pictures from space?
Did you actually not see
Like
it or hear about it?
It's everywhere.
No,
it's
nothing.
The main
Absolutely
news story
nothing.
of the world for the last 24 hours.
The glowing space potato? The galaxies upon galaxies that are now dead?
All right.
What
Can
did
I
you
see
hear
it?
about this week?
You tell me what you want to talk about.
That Habs drafted Slavkovsky.
Okay. So it's a guy we will see, and then we'll be like, oh, he's not that good yet. And then the next year, be like, oh, he's kind of good. And then we'll be like, all right, I think he might be good. And then we're going to trade him, and then he's going to be really good somewhere else. Can't wait for him in Tampa. Can't wait.
No, I don't think it's going to happen this time. I don't know. I'm optimistic.
I think I have more history on my side in the last 30 years saying I'm right.
Oh, what is this?
This is the
It's
picture.
the fucking space!
So I learned.
What is it? Explain.
I don't know anything about telescopes because I only thought there was the Hubble telescope. I didn't know there was competing telescopes in that space.
Mm-hmm.
James Webb, this is his telescope. And NASA was able
Jesus.
to take some super high-res pictures of space that we've never been able to see before. Of course, the Twitter comments are that it's fake. Because why would there be pictures of space when you could fake pictures of space? I don't know who would benefit from it, but clearly that's what the internet thinks.
Glowing space potatoes.
I'd have me a glowing space potato. Space poutine?
Yeah,
Load that shit up.
best fries
Space
ever.
poutine sounds delicious.
It sounds
I don't know.
like
I don't know if
the
cheese,
condition
I
I'm
don't
in
know
every
if
time I
cheese
have a
curds-
poutine.
I don't know if cheese curds hold up in space though.
Well, there's no gravity, so they're not quite as heavy.
But they're very squishy. So wouldn't that mean there's a lot of like oxygen going through it?
That's
So
a good
it
point.
would-
Eagle, you need to do some research. Find out
Yeah.
if squishy exists in space.
Yeah.
Like, you know how there's no gravity?
Mhm.
We need to find out if there's a zero squish zone. It's highly important to the future of this show. We need to know this immediately.
One thing I will mention is we missed 7-Eleven, where you would get a free Slurpee at 7-Eleven.
Oh.
What? Oh, you mean July 11th?
Yes.
Oh, I see. Well, we don't have a 7-Eleven.
So
yet.
every July 11, 7-Eleven has free Slurpees.
They give away a drink you can buy for $1.50.
I wonder if
I mean,
if
drink,
you can.
arguable.
Yeah.
It's sugar and water.
I wonder if you can trace the diabetes from each individual that probably
you
had.
You see it right here.
5 of them.
It's like right there.
Yeah, there's a high-res picture of it. That's it's the glowing space potato of diabetes.
But explain what it is.
We don't know it's in space,
It's
bro.
the Southern Ring Planetary Nebula that was
There you go.
previously hidden. Planetary nebulae are the shells of gas and dust ejected from dying stars.
That's pretty wild. That's actually pretty wild.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So
That's
basically,
cool.
someone blew up this star.
But so what kind of like person you need to be to see something like just utterly magnificent? Like, imagine someone catching a unicorn in real life and be like, "Yo, I found the last unicorn." And they're like, "Fake." But it's right here. Nah, fake.
Nah. You're full of
But
shit,
what's
bro.
the benefit? Like who gains from fake pictures of space? Like, I don't understand.
NASA,
Well,
'cause they want more
scientists
funding.
get scientists
So you
get
think
funded,
that the people
yeah.
giving billions of dollars to NASA is gonna be like, "Oh, I saw one picture. You know what? Here's the rest of your money."
No,
It
but
doesn't
they
work
don't. They're
that
not
way.
looking for billions. They're looking for just a couple 100,000 because they actually think they're onto something, but they're not.
Oh, okay. So what you do is this picture is for the lower investors who weren't going to
Exactly. Yeah,
It's
this
like,
is like
hey.
the penny stocks of
Yeah.
science.
Yeah, it's the crypto of space.
Exactly.
This is
Yeah,
the actual crypto space.
but like not Bitcoin or
No. It's
like
all these other
Ethereum. Yeah, it's like the other
It's
ones.
Ponzi coin.
Exactly.
I think if we started Ponzi coin, we could probably get people to invest, even though it's
Oh,
in the
for
name.
sure.
It's
For
in
sure.
what we're doing is in the name. It's like Boss Like Sports. Like they're
How-
telling you what they're doing.
How there isn't, if there is a Bitcoin called Ponzi coin, I mean, we need to get
buy
on
it
that.
immediately, and we need to get 2 other people.
Yeah,
get
I
them
want to
on
buy
the
all
show
of the
after.
Ponzi coins, every single one of them.
Yeah. All right. Let's.
I started to do 2 new things this week, but they were new old
me.
things.
First
I just started playing GTA 5 again.
No, nice. I played the other day too.
I'm playing online and everything. How do I turn off the people talking, like the other players, through my microphone?
It's the worst thing in the world. There's a setting. Duke will tell you to do it because he walked me through it and I forgot. But
Oh my God.
Once you turn it off to like party chat only, it's the best thing in the world because you don't hear anybody else because they're all awful.
Yeah, I just want party chat. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Because
Like,
I'm not in any parties.
When you leave the general chat, it's basically people thinking they're pro rappers and racists, and that's it.
Also, I was like, are you guys talking English? And the girl's like, no, I'm talking Chinese. I'm like, well, Chinese isn't a language. She's like, yes, Chinese is a language. I said, Chinese is not a language.
It's
If
a
you're speaking it,
culture in the country.
you're not speaking the language they speak in China.
It's like saying I speak South Dakotan.
Yeah.
Or,
I
speak American. Is actually the best example.
And also, I rewatched Friday Night Lights, the TV show. I started watching with my girlfriend. She hadn't seen it, so I was like, you know what? This is one of my favorite TV shows. We got to watch it.
Netflix keeps trying to get me to watch it.
No, it's not on Netflix anymore. It's on Crave.
Or Crave, that's it. Sorry, it's one of the 90 streaming platforms I'm paying for. I cut the cord years ago, and I think I'm paying much more now than I was when I was paying for cable.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's but at least I'm paying for things I want.
I also still pay for cable because live sports.
Yeah, there's workarounds. There's
Yeah.
stealing your parents' cable. That's my workaround. Oh, let's get to the news, Eeks. Terry, it's the news.
Is it though?
It is. Much like photos of space that have been circulating for the last 24 hours.
No, that didn't happen.
These stories are huge. It's true. They're fake. They didn't happen. It's a good point.
Yeah.
Good job. You went ahead, going ahead and getting that breaking news story that indicates it's actually fake. The top story, because July, Zach Wilson banged his mom's friend. This is the story of the offseason.
No, he banged
It's
his best friend's mom.
His best friend's mom. My mistake.
Wait.
Two
I thought
very
it was his
different
mom's
things.
best friend.
Yeah, I understood something as Eagle. I understood his mom's best friend.
Yeah. Okay, wait. First off, let's start with which one's worse.
Well, the thing is that it's
I
not
mean,
worse if it's his best friend's mom. It's not worse because he started dating his ex-girlfriend. So even.
Oh, that's a good point, actually.
Yeah.
But if it's
Yeah.
his mom's best friend,
Then that's okay too.
Yeah, mom's best friend to me, there's nothing wrong.
Two consenting adults. There's nothing
What's wrong
with
is if you
it's
cheated
the
on your
mom's
girlfriend.
BFF. Yes, it is.
Yeah, mom's BFF. Yeah, there's nothing wrong there. Like, first of all, the Jets win so rarely that you got to take them where you can get them. The other
Also,
thing,
like
It's the
you
only time
gotta
he scores over
appreciate-
40.
it's true, or scores.
you gotta appreciate Stifler's mom memes.
Yeah, 100%. I love. It's just this is another place where I disconnect with the comments. Where like
The youth.
people are like, oh yeah, like talking like about either he's wrong or she's wrong. I'm like, these are 2 consenting adults having sex.
They can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, who cares?
Also,
We
like
actually
he's
do
not
have
even like
sorry, go ahead, Terry.
he's not even like full Mormon. He's like only half Mormon. So
So you put it half in.
he didn't really do anything wrong.
Only half wrong, which is
Not even in
you know what
God's
they
name.
say, 2 wrongs don't make it right, but a half wrong is entirely right.
Half wrong
So-
is definitely right.
He responded to the news and everything on Instagram 6 hours ago as of this recording, saying, took my boys to the Gozerin Club Ranch Club in Idaho before camp. Poor cell phone service. What I miss.
Amazing. I love it.
I like that they didn't phone with it. It's funny though that it was intended to like out him to make him look bad, and everyone was like, "Okay."
How dumb could this girl have been though?
I guess I guess because the focus was like she was trying to be like he banged an old person, not like hey he cheated on me. Which is if that happened, that's the terrible part. Not that he banged, like not who he banged. Who he banged doesn't matter, right? Like if he cheated, he cheated. That's the problem.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
That's what I didn't get.
The problem is that I think that she's just a little butthurt that maybe he broke up with her when he went pro, and then she latched on to the next guy that's gonna go pro.
Fair.
And now
maybe,
she's like
I don't know her either, right? So I mean, like,
yeah, well, he banged his mom's best friend. Rock star.
But again, it's you miss, like, you have an avenue, right? You have an avenue, like, all right, if I say if he cheated on me, like the world will have my back because cheating sucks, right? Nobody likes a cheater. But like banging his friend's mom, he's at an age where like his friend's mom is not 98 years old, I imagine.
We actually don't know who the mom is.
We don't know who the
which
mom
is.
is.
Like, the difficult part about this whole thing.
It's also better that she didn't dox the mom. That would have been way worse. Like,
oh, it's gonna come out eventually who this woman is.
Yeah,
Surprised it hasn't already.
It'll come out on Facebook because of her advanced age.
It could also not be true.
Yeah, it's also a thing.
It can just be that she tried to make it seem like he's such this asshole that bangs his mom's friends. Like, first of all, listen, bro, he's in New York. He's not in Utah anymore.
That's not a thing that makes you an asshole. It's like that's not the part that makes you the asshole. I don't get it. I don't
know how.
Is it just maybe it's big in the Mormon community and we're just missing it? Or
yeah, like outing people is huge in the Mormon community. Like there's a part of the Bible that's called Tattletale.
Yeah, that's
Tattletale 3:16.
That's why I would join the Mormons is for the hot goss.
The gossip?
Yeah.
Did you watch Gossip Girl?
I didn't watch Gossip Girl.
Oh, Gossip Girl's a great show.
Yeah. My wife watched it, and like when you walk into a room and you just catch bits and pieces and you're like, not for me. But like sometimes you miss great shows because like you just happen to walk into a shitty part. Like every show has parts that are great, you know?
I've watched it twice.
Really?
Good show. Yeah.
I'm going on a flight. This is my last show before vacation. And I'm leaving next Wednesday, so I have to download a bunch of stuff to watch because I'm expected to be stranded in an airport for hours. So that's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll give Gossip Girl a shot. Maybe I'll give it a shot.
You should.
Yeah.
We have breaking news before we move over to
breaking news.
The next story here. The Columbus Blue Jackets and forward Johnny Gaudreau have agreed on a contract, according to Pierre LeBrun. We don't know exactly the details just yet, but that literally just happened right now.
He's going to get $12 million.
Yeah, well, this is John factually put it in our chat. 7 years, $12 million per. And like he's like saying like you can't not take $12 million. And then as an NBA fan, I was like, that's not a lot of money, is it? Like, what's the CBA for the NHL? Oh, okay. No, apparently this is a big deal.
No, just that the cap is a lot lower. Also, they pay a lot more players and. They don't have the
NBA has
money.
A much higher cap for 15 players, right? Versus
that's it,
25 or whatever it is for the NHL.
We also have players like Pacioretty moving to Carolina earlier today. We have Claude Giroux moving to the Ottawa Senators. What else was there? There's a few other big ones I'm trying to think of right now.
So just to put it in perspective, he's getting $12 million. The non-taxpayers mid-level exception in the NBA, which is like essentially a salary that doesn't count against your cap, is about $10 million. That's an exemption. That's an exemption status that you get.
It's crazy.
Jaromir Jagr says he's
Yager?
UFA. Jager.
He gets the names of the most famous people on earth wrong.
Like the most famous hockey player.
I've been drinking too much, clearly. Too much Jaeger. But he's like, NHL GMs, I am also free agent once again. So he is looking for a contract right now.
He wants that money. Makes sense. How many Jager bombs have you had, Eagle?
Finish that tweet, though, Eagle.
Finish it? You want to do the whole thing? 50
Yeah.
years old, slow but strong and good hands, can bring experience and like to play only home games. Call me anytime. Also, as the owner of hockey club in Czech Liga, I am looking to sell defensemen. No jokes.
It's a great tweet.
Is that the most like honest? That's the most honest CV of all time. Look, I'm
Yeah.
slow, but I'm strong.
Like, listen, I'm 50 as fuck, bro.
Yeah.
But like, I'm still jacked. You know what I mean? Like, I take Yager on my team any day of the week.
Also, it's like I have defensemen I can bring. It's like I have clients from my old company I can bring to this company.
No, he's a GM of a team in Czech Republic.
Yeah.
And he's saying he wants defensemen.
Oh, I
for his team. Yeah. So he's like,
if you're missing guys, I can bring my boys. We'll fill out your team. Be super nice. I promise it'll be really good. He was pretty good a couple of years ago for Florida.
Yeah, I mean, he was all right.
Yeah, for like
as good as he needed to be
for his age, and for a team.
Also for a struggling Florida team back then too.
Yeah,
so.
A team that had a lot of guys that weren't developed yet. Like,
yeah.
Why not? And also, like, who knows what he did for their development, right? Because he is.
I don't see Yager as the I'll spend some time with you.
No, but just having a guy around, right? Like having.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't hurt to have one of the best players in NHL history playing there, right?
I think he's like third all time in points or fourth all time in points or something like that.
And imagine he didn't leave. Like, imagine he played in the NHL the entire time.
Well, he did.
No, but then
he just left. He left like last year.
No, but he had like a short stint in the Czech Republic before that. No.
Oh, maybe like maybe lockout. Maybe during the lockout. There
could be at during
the COVID.
Important-ish people. Malkin stays with Pittsburgh. He was rumored to go to free agency, but decided against it last minute. Ottawa, I mentioned before, they already assigned Giroux, but they also moved Matt Murray to Toronto, I think.
Yeah.
For like future considerations and that type of stuff. So yeah, like a lot of movement this.
A lot of mediocre movements. The Johnny Gaudreau one is the biggest one. I thought Philadelphia, because he's a Philly kid. I thought Philadelphia would have offered him the fucking house for him to be there, but I guess Columbus offered him more because there's no reason why Johnny Gaudreau wouldn't be playing in Philadelphia.
But like 12 million represents like how much of the cap? Because Columbus has nobody, right? So I imagine they have the most to offer.
No, they don't have nobody. No, they don't have nobody. They have Patrick Laine. They have Werenski. They have.
But how many of them are big cap hits though?
Both those guys are.
Yeah. Okay.
Both those guys are not. I think Werenski's an $8 million cap hit. I think
Laine came with I thought Laine came with a discount because.
No, they didn't retain because they traded him for Pierre-Luc Dubois. So I think it was just a 1-for-1. I don't think there was any retaining there. But if you go on
the salary cap next year is $82.5 million essentially. So yeah, 12 is like 15% of it.
But that's the thing though, and it's like
that's significant. That's significant investment though in one player.
But also it's been growing. I mean, like, listen, he's going to be the highest paid player in the league, right? But there's still Austin Matthews and Connor McDavid.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be Connor Bedard who comes up next year, and we don't know what kind of a career Shane Wright's going to have. And the dollar amount is going up slowly. And I think the NHL has like the line of growth of the cap and other than the COVID years is like this. It's not like this. It's really going strong.
Well, it was slow for a while in the early 2000s, and especially now that they got picked up by ESPN, that's only going to help them get more hockey-related income, right? And that's the part that drives the cap up.
That's it, exactly. So. But overall, I mean, so far there hasn't been anything crazy in free agency. There's been a lot of moves that were expected. I'm excited, and the Habs. People are saying the Habs have gone quiet today. Listen, the Habs don't have to do much. They've been very vocal about the rebuild. They got Kirby Dach, which if you saw the reaction between me and John, you know that this guy is he's just a stud. He's a star. He's a star. Yeah. And the Habs haven't really had a star like that since Kovalev.
I don't know a ton about hockey, but I was excited about Kirby Dach. Like that's you know what I mean. That's
he's big. Fucking good, man, and he's gonna be a fucking leader. And you know, Suzuki and him can battle it out for the C because either of those two guys can be a good captain on this team, even Gallagher as well. But I'm excited for this fucking team. And people are so negative, man. People are so negative. But like you always tell Alex the intern, Twitter isn't a real world.
It's not.
It's not. And it's like the negativity. It's like Ken Hughes. What the fuck is he doing today? What do you mean? What is he doing? He literally flipped a defenseman that like as much as we all love Romanov, hasn't really played to the first round talent that we thought he would. I mean, he had a good playoff when they made that run, but last year was a kind of an off year for him where it could have been a good year for him on a struggling team, and he didn't take advantage. So we got a 13th for that. Then we flipped that for Kirby Dach. Kirby Dach was a third overall pick 2 years ago. Like shut the fuck up. You know, like people are complaining about like what's going on now. Caulfield, the amount of stars we have on this team is We've never seen it like this before. Never.
The complaining in the NHL draft to me is wild when you consider that you won't see most of these guys touch the ice for 2 or 3 years.
Also, everybody complaining.
Like everyone's guessing, including the GMs.
Also, everybody complaining has not seen a fucking lick of a bad highlight reel of any of these players.
Yeah, that's the thing is like they don't publish their bad moments. They only publish like other than John, nobody is grinding minor league hockey tape, right? Like,
exactly.
He's the only one on earth doing this.
But that's the thing too. It's like all these guys like, oh my god, I can't believe they fucked this up. They should have taken Shane Wright. Yeah, I was expecting them for them to take Shane Wright because of the center need. But the fact that they got Kirby Dach out of it means like, hey, we don't need a center anymore. If we feel like Slafkovsky is going to be our guy, then we're going to get him. And you know what? So far so good. Slafkovsky's, I don't know if you have it in the rapid fire, but he's had some sound bites.
I don't. They weren't. I didn't catch them in the chat, unfortunately.
At one point he said, who was talking? Was that Eags?
No, go.
At one point they asked him like something about Toronto. Oh, somebody offered like a Toronto Maple Leafs hat, or he had a Toronto Maple Leafs hat, and they said, "What are you going to do with it?" And he said, "Put it in the garbage where it belongs," or something like that. Like, I don't have any use for this, but like saying it nicely, but also like, fuck Toronto kind of thing. Like I'm telling the world, fuck Toronto.
Yeah, I like that he gets the culture of the team. You know what I mean? It's not just another team. That's to us the biggest rival.
Also, everybody that was in Montreal, anybody that was in the Bell Center and stood up and booed an 18-year-old kid that just got drafted first overall.
Yeah, piece of garbage.
He achieved his entire life because you think the player that the Habs were supposed to draft is better because you think he is. You don't know he is. You think he is.
But that's the thing. They're not even. It's the boos are not even for the player. It's that they think they know better because secretly every fan, especially the ones who play fantasy, whatever, think that they are pocket GMs. They don't understand what that work entails. They don't understand how much of a crapshoot every draft is. Whether it's the NFL, NHL, NBA, like so few players have the ability to reshape your franchise. Like there's more chances than not that Wright or any of these guys will not reshape your franchise. Chances are they'll be fine players.
The guy next year can reshape your franchise. Connor Bedard, he's the guy.
Yeah.
But we might not get him.
You're drafting first overall. It's not. Yeah. Now, right?
Hopefully they get a second first overall pick.
I do want to talk about this a little bit because we talked a little about.
Wait, I had one last one here, just quickly. Just Edmonton. They are trying to become a contender, especially now with Calgary losing their star player. So they signed Jack Campbell to a 5-year deal, $5 million per, and they re-signed Evander Kane to a 4-year deal at $5 million per year. I just Googled it, and there is a casino in the West Edmonton Mall.
There is one, yeah.
Well, you know where to find him. We can get him on the show because we'll just go. We'll have John factually just go out there and put a mic in his face.
Actually, you know what? Fuck the casino in the West Edmonton Mall. But the last 2 weekends, I'm gonna throw a plug here. The Team Quebec Brick has been playing at the Brick tournament, which is the best 10-year-olds basically in North America. They all play at this tournament. Shane Wright actually has like records at this tournament. Max Domi, Ty Domi, Gallagher, anybody who's been drafted has played in this tournament, and it's the biggest one. And Quebec lost in the semifinals. But yeah, congrats to them. It was a bunch of good kids. They won. The MVP of the tournament was on the Team Quebec team, and they're partners with the Montreal Canadiens too. So it's pretty good. Congrats to them. And I watched every single game. I loved it. I loved watching these 10-year-olds fucking destroy, and maybe make the NHL in 8 years.
He's so much better at sports than we've ever been or can dream to be.
It's crazy. It doesn't even make sense anymore.
So yeah, we talked a little bit about like the finances in sports and free agency, and I wanted to have this conversation. The first news story that sort of came across my feed that had me thinking about this was Dame Lillard chooses to stay in Portland for $120 million over 2 years. He gets a lot of credit for sticking around, for not joining other superstars, and he goes out on Twitter and talks about how like he's not running from the grind. But also he stayed for the money, right? Like he's constantly taking the money above all else, and I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Why would you hate it?
Just don't pretend. Don't hand me cereal and tell me it's salad. Like
at the end of the day, in 10 years from now, let's say Lillard's, let's say 15 years from now, Dame is retired. He has all this money in the bank account, and then people are talking about him like, oh, he never won a championship. You know what he's thinking?
Look at all this money in my bank account.
Go fuck yourself, Charles Barkley.
Who also didn't have a championship. Mostly staying with the same team. But he what's it called? I heard a quote by Andre Iguodala, who's won 4 NBA championships, and he's been to 4. Sorry, he's been to 4. He's won 3. He went with the Heat as well, but he didn't win that one. They lost to the Lakers.
Cavaliers, Warriors, Heat.
Yeah, exactly. So yes. Well, anyway, he's been to 4 championships. He has multiple championships, and he has a Finals MVP. Believe it or not,
because he has the game. He has the game winner. No.
Yeah, he has the game winner, and then he would the next year be blocked from behind by LeBron, and that block would change the entire series. But anyway,
yeah.
his most famous quote that he's been saying a lot recently is there's no legacy other than generational wealth. That in the end, all you got to do is take care of you, take care of your family, and build on that, because you don't know if your next generation is going to be as great at sports. You don't know if the next generation is going to need money the way, in a way that you didn't need money, and so on and so forth. And so he's been big on that, and that's what exactly to your point, Terry. That's what made me think of is Dame Lillard's doing all right by him and his family, which is the priority, right? It's a job in the end.
It's not like they brought in a guy that allegedly raped over 20 women, and they're kind of paying him
a minimum so that he doesn't get and that he doesn't pay as much in fines,
and then get criticized for not working hard enough.
But the anecdote on that, apparently Baker Mayfield, they asked him, were you gonna do like a goodbye State Farm type of commercial for insurance and everything, like moving out? And he's like, I wanted to, but then they were like, nah, it's part
that would have been a good one.
Yeah,
that would have been hilarious.
That would have been one of the best commercials ever.
The one thing I was thinking of though, Terry, is when we were growing up, I think we'd hear like our older relatives would be like, oh, players these days are all about the money. And then we see guys like, LeBron change teams and try and improve his odds of winning a championship. KD got shit on so much for going to the Warriors when it was just like, you want guys to play for a championship. Now they're playing so now we're actually cheering for the guys who are staying for the money and cheering against the guys who are moving around looking for a title. I've never been big on sort of these narratives, so I don't understand where that stems from and why that perspective's changed.
It's the bipolarism of the fan bases, man. It's crazy. It's like KD gets shit on because he's always looking for another option, right?
Yeah.
And then other people get shit on, oh, you don't care about winning, you just want money. Like the amount of people that contradict themselves is fucking bananas. Listen, let these guys do whatever the fuck they want. If somebody wants to go ring chase, let them go ring chase. I don't like it, but I'm not going to complain about it.
But you also don't denigrate the great, to be fair, and I'll give you credit here, Terry, is like, you'll be annoyed by KD, but you've never said, KD's not that good at basketball. KD's trying.
He's unbelievable at basketball.
Yeah, that's why it makes a difference when he leaves. That's why it decimates a fan base.
It pisses me off how good he is.
Yeah. The other example I thought about this was Tiger Woods, who he's made his money in golf, right? Like he's made more money than anyone's great grandchildren will ever need. He went off this week talking about how he can't be bought from Live Golf. Been like, because you've made 10 times more than any other golfer in the history.
Also, they offered him $1 billion.
Yeah. Well, so there's one report of $1 billion, and then the other one was high 9 figures. So
999 million.
Yeah, it's just
what are we talking about here? Like,
ton of money.
It's unbelievable the amount of money that place has.
But so I'm sure the calculation by his business people were like, here's the money you make with all your endorsements and all the other things you do outside of golf.
Do you need more?
You would probably lose these, but then it's replaced by Live. So which lifestyle do you want? It's about the same.
I don't know if they're going to be able to. Are they going to be able to play at Augusta? Are they going to be able to play at the St. Andrews and all that stuff? We don't know all that.
I have a theory that the calculated risk by the PGA is that the golfers don't matter as much as the courses. We watch the Masters because it's the Masters.
It's beautiful to watch.
And there's just something about that product, and there's something about history of it that matters in a way that, the courses in Saudi Arabia or the Florida course that they're going to be playing at Live Golf, the Trump's course, I can't remember the name of it.
Trump's course is Mar-a-Lago. Is that it?
Yeah, Mar-a-Lago. It won't have the same feeling as the U.S. Open. It won't have the same feeling as St. Andrews this past weekend. Greg Norman, by the way, not allowed at St. Andrews. It's already beginning in terms of that division between LIV and PGA.
Why isn't he allowed? Hasn't he won
Because
that thing like 3 times?
But he's the the chairperson of LIV Golf.
Oh, okay. In that case, yeah.
Like he's like the actual competition. Like he's the boss of the competition.
I'm playing golf on Saturday and Sunday, so I won't be able to watch too much. But I am recording it, and it's the first time I'm watching the Open. Like I've never watched it before. So
it's a wild course. They don't like. It looks like the worst taken care of course in the world, but it's on purpose.
I've seen
rough is like this high.
I've watched like YouTube guys. I follow a couple of YouTube guys that have played there, like Rick Shields and Eric Anders Lang, and they go there. They've gone there and they've played. It's a beautiful course. I'd love to play there, but like on the 18th, there's like those houses and those buildings on the right side.
Yeah.
Rick Shields. I don't know if you know him, but is my camera all fucked up to you?
Yes.
Yeah, it'll fix itself. Don't worry.
Okay. Rick Shields, he smacks a ball and he doesn't know where it is. He's like, oh, it's out of bounds for sure. The guy, the course marshal, whatever he was, he walks up to him. He's like, you're 5 feet from the pin. He's like, it bounced on the street, hit the top of the hotel, and bounced onto the green.
That's wild. I've actually hit a house before.
Yeah, I broke a window actually last year at St. Rose.
It's also St. Rose, so yeah, I hit a house at St. Rose.
Yeah, it's impossible to not hit a house there.
They're on the course.
They're literally like, it's, you know what's funny is like
it's not even a hazard.
I smacked the ball and I didn't like the drive because I sliced it. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take my mully now. I mully it. It goes over that net and you hear a talk like I hit a house. I'm like, okay, hit the top of a house, whatever. Not the end of the world. So then we start walking. This woman and this guy come running out. They're like, oh, you hit my house. You broke the window in my bathroom. I'm like, oh, okay, fuck. You know, it wasn't me. And she's like, oh, then who could it have been? I'm like, it was me. She's like, it was a yellow ball. So we all start laughing because I'm the only idiot that plays with yellow balls. And so she shows it to me. I'm like, okay, so I guess that is me. Here's my number. They called me, but then they never, I was supposed to replace it. They never called me or anything.
Just
so
claim under insurance. It's fine. It's
yeah. I was like, and then my buddy's like, oh, the course will pay for it. I'm like, no, the course doesn't give a fuck about this shit. They will never pay for that. Never.
The one last thing before we get to rapid fire. There was this conversation on the Michael Kay and Don Lagreca show. Michael Kay was off, but Don Lagreca got a call, and the caller was calling about Anthony Rizzo. I need to do all this preamble, Terry, because so little of the clip is about Anthony Rizzo.
5 games up. That's how he's hurting him.
Oh my God!
I can't hear you.
What you need to do? Look, stop with your Michael Kay. I'm on the air. I worked at the Fan before Michael Kay. I do Ranger games without Michael Kay. 16 years doing pre and post for the Jets. Guess what? No Michael Kay. I got a podcast that's in the top 50 in every country on the planet. No Michael Kay. I've got 2 kids. I've got a wife. 17 years. I'll be married in September. Guess what? No Michael Kay. I've got hair that people would die to have. Michael Kay.
I can't hear a fucking thing.
No?
I'm reading his lips.
Michael Kay's got nothing to do with it. I'm one of the best friends you could ever have in your life. Zero to do with Michael Kay. Do not ever say to me, you wouldn't have the guts to say it to my face, Michael Kay's got nothing to do with what I am and who I am. I could work with Michael Kay. I could work without Michael Kay. You better bring it. You ask me questions, I answer them. I ask you questions, you say, Don, 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 Don. That's what Cuber was saying when I was tripping on meth in '84.
So, you didn't hear that?
0.
Why? What happened, Eagle?
It's the double share thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but you turn it on for me and I know not to talk.
Oh, I could have done that.
Doofus.
Yeah. So
300 episodes in, huh?
making the last 90 seconds of the show useless. So I'll give you a recap, I guess, Terry, which would be weird to the listening audience who will have heard the clip. He gets a call, and the caller starts talking about Anthony Rizzo and how he's not helping the team. And he's like, apparently he kept referencing how Don Lagreca is elevated by having Michael Kay there. And he's like, he loses it. He's like, you know what? Don't you dare bring up Michael Kay again. I've done Jets pre and post game for 16 years. I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. But then his list degenerates. His list becomes, I've been married for 17 years and have 2 kids. Michael Kay had nothing to do with it. I have great hair. Michael K had nothing to do with it. I'm a great driver and a great friend. That was his list. That was his list of items.
I have to watch this on my own time.
I've watched this about 14 times today. It's my favorite thing that I've ever seen. It saddens me so much. I want this as a recurring sound on the show. Eagle, my dude, I know I've got vacation brain going on, but like, I need you to carry, man. I need you to carry.
Carry the show, Eags.
The one thing I was thinking was, okay, we're on podcasts, right? And we don't take callers and whatever. But
I would love to.
You want to outsource labor to people less qualified?
No, I used to have a radio show with callers. I loved it.
It's the worst thing in the world. As a listener, I will instantly turn it off every time I hear a caller.
It's the best thing in the world because all it is just like just annihilating them. Just like they come in, all their stupidity, just ruin the heckler. They're just like hecklers, basically.
I see it as calling people who are less talented to do your job for you.
I want to be able to do it. I just don't know how. I don't know. Eagle, do you know any kind of software or any program that uses this where I can take callers?
We call them. We don't tell them we're calling. We
just call random people.
I can look one up. Yeah.
What do you think of this?
Yeah.
We just call random.
And then hang up on them and make fun of them and tell them to listen to the show.
That would be so good. That would be so
yes,
good.
If that's the way we're doing it, Terry, then yes, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
But most of the time it's radio show did not prepare. Let's take callers to hear your thoughts on the Canadians and go to commercial in 45 minutes.
Like I felt so bad for Sean Campbell today because like for an hour there was nothing from the Habs. So he's just reporting all, and Lucas Scott actually is his sidekick. Mm-hmm. And he's just reporting like all just the basic stuff coming out of the rest of the NHL. So nothing from Montreal. So he had all this time to fill. He does a good job because he's a professional. But like,
it's July. That's how we have Don Lagreca in the A block. It's July. We need. That's why I have Zach Wilson sleeping with somebody's mom. July.
Exactly. Only July.
The other thing about this though, I find like these guys constantly talk about how athletes are soft, right? And yet the hosts are so easily offended by callers who are the same way that sports commentators are usually not athletes. These guys calling in are amateur radio hosts, right? Calling in, giving their thoughts. Like, why would that bother you? Someone could tell me, yo, Terry Tam's so much better. And you'd be like, he probably is.
Yeah.
That's you're nothing about Terry Tam. Like, yeah, no, he makes me better. Like, it would not affect me in the slightest. It's the weirdest thing to have ego about. I don't understand it.
People are fucking sensitive. Like Eagle's fucking sensitive all the time.
No, I'm not.
He's pouting. He's pouting right now because I gave him shit because he ruined my sound.
Because he can't produce.
I told you in advance it was sound. I told you in advance.
No, he took the business decision basically
of ruining 90 seconds of the show.
Yeah.
Technically, it was 77 seconds.
Well, no, because then the other 20
time
seconds
to explain.
I had to recap the thing that everyone else heard except.
So it was more than
show.
90 seconds, and it was pretty much like full 120 seconds here. Yeah.
400 wasted seconds. The title of your next sex tape.
Only Eagle's the only one that knows how to waste 120 seconds.
Eeks, let's get the rapid fire.
All right, we're gonna go through six of them today. We're gonna start with Le Courtside Snacks. Lakers LeBron James sat courtside, and NBA fans were amazed to see him eating his own packed snacks, essentially. Little Ziploc bag containing all the fun, tasty elements of a well-nourished meal.
Show me you have nothing to talk about without telling me you have nothing to talk about. Like, listen, I get that it's very humbling, but the guy's he's a specimen. He's not going to eat the food that are like at these places. I'm not surprised he does this. I'm not surprised more athletes don't do this.
I find it funny that the spin was, look at this everyman packing his own snacks. It's the opposite. Is he can't eat hot dogs. He can't eat like all the trash we put into our bodies because I want to say 10 years ago, Terry, the story came out that he spends $1 million on his body in the off season to like keep him in specific shape.
How much of that on his hairline?
Well, not enough, clearly. Mind you, suspiciously, in Miami, he never had an issue with his hairline. He leaves Miami, all of a sudden,
all the
hair is gone. All the hair is gone.
The Botox, plastic, silicone capital of the world.
I will say, Summer League looks super fun. Like, it's NBA superstars and coaches and commentators all just wandering around casinos, occasionally catching games. And, we see now the Warriors who just won the NBA title and their summer league team dominating as well, which should be threatening to the entire team because that's all their young guys, right? That's all their young guns actually going out and playing well. You see Kuminga, Wiseman. It's what I've been saying is they somehow rebuilt the team in the 2 years that they took off while Klay Thompson was hurt. It's wild to me. It's wild to me. That's when we talk about good and bad organizations. I don't think anyone can argue the Warriors are a bad organization at this point.
All right, next, jumbo-sized former first overall pick Jamarcus Russell insisted that he was more than just a bust in this clip that was recently aired.
I'll say my shit didn't turn out how I would want it to, or not how they expected it to, but if you're gonna call me a bust, like you say, put the biggest on that motherfucker, man. I love it. If you're gonna say it, put the biggest on that motherfucker. But that shit don't bother me, man. Hold up. Limitless. Biggest to me, cap pinning it.
That's Jamarcus Russell on the pivot. Yeah, so I like him owning it. You
can turn it off now because now it's annoying.
Yeah, it's be instantly off as soon as the clip ends. Production 101. Production 101. There's some sad things about the Jamarcus Russell story. Like we only found out about his addiction to purple drank after he finished. I forget if there's the actual chemical that's in
codeine.
The syrup. No, but there's something specific that's.
Oh yeah, tryptophan.
Sure, it's Thanksgiving.
Turkey.
But and he legitimately gained weight because of how much of it and how much sugar is in it.
Yeah, it's all sugar.
Super dangerous.
It's like wine.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yes, except you can die much quicker than wine.
Yeah, because it slows down your heart so much. You ever see somebody on that shit?
Person, no.
It's pretty fucked up. They can't even stand straight. Like they're talking. They know they understand everything happening, but they can't stand straight. They're basically it's as if they have no weight. Like they weigh nothing. They're when you're just a little bit too drunk and you start feeling like your hands are light and all that stuff. Yeah. Thursdays. Yeah. Thursdays.
You know how Thursdays feel? Exactly like that.
Yeah.
No, the one thing I will say that I don't care how sad the story is, it's always funny to me that he was given tapes because back then film was on VHS tapes. Yeah. And he was given tapes and saying you need to study this. And the team needs to make sure they want to find out whether or not Jamarcus Russell was actually doing the film breakdowns. And he came back saying he watched it and he learned so much. The tapes were empty. I
wonder if they covered that on the pivot. If they asked that question.
I haven't heard the whole interview. I just saw that clip and thought,
he was on the Players Tribune also. Yeah. So I think he's just doing a kind of media row kind of thing. So I'll watch the pivot one. I'm curious to hear because there's been a lot of jokes about Jamarcus Russell and he's our era of the biggest bust. A little bit older than us would have been Ryan Leaf. Oh, for you, Ryan Leaf, I guess.
Ryan Leaf, to me, when people say the biggest bust, it's Ryan Leaf.
Also, for me, it's
also
Jamarcus
drug
Russell.
issues, by the way. That's also what happened to him as well.
Yeah, that too. He's passed. He's dead now, right?
No, he's alive. He's alive. You killed.
I feel like he's dead.
No, he's alive. I heard an interview with him 2 months ago, I
feel like he's dead though.
Could you look up if Ryan Leaf is dead? I promise you, he's not. He's newly sober after lying about being sober for years. He would book.
He's 46 years old
and alive, right?
Alive.
Dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nope.
He's
dead on the inside.
He had been arrested recently when he was telling people he was going on a tour telling people how he was sober. But what he was doing instead, because of his high profile, he couldn't really buy drugs anymore.
It's a great picture, by the way.
Yeah, it fully describes the story. He would book house viewings to go see people selling houses, and he would raid their medicine cabinet, and that's how he would get his drugs. And then obviously he got caught because people were missing all their drugs. And he went to prison for that, and now apparently he's clean for real and doing another media tour. And let's hope it sticks this time. But yeah, so more to what we were saying before though, Terry, about GMs taking a bunch of guesses. Jamarcus Russell, some GMs had a 6th round draft value on him. He went 1st overall.
Oh, there you go, Oakland.
Yeah.
Oakland factor.
All right, choo-choo train out of Toronto, or TO, with all the news going on in the NHL. Very little is happening in Toronto. So the big news of the day is Charlie Montoyo, the manager of the Blue Jays, has been fired after losing 8 of the 10 last games. I think their overall record is 46-44. But yeah, he's out, and the other interim coaches are taking over.
So this is perfectly timed, by the way. I mentioned it in our chat. Perfectly timed. Yeah. I've never seen a firing of a manager, a coach, more perfectly timed than this. You're in Toronto. You know that baseball is already second, right? The biggest day.
Third. Because the Raptors are way more popular right now than the.
You think the Raptors are more popular than the Blue Jays?
My wife used to live in Toronto. I was there all the time. I'm telling you. Is there a Jurassic Park where they watch baseball games in the street and like 30,000 people are lined up in the streets?
I guess, yeah.
Is there a recent championship of the Blue Jays?
If you think about it that way. But like anyway, so let's say they're third now, right? So that actually proves my point even more.
Yeah.
Why they announce that they're firing Arroyo in the middle of the NHL free agency. Genius. Day one of NHL free agency.
So like our show is basically a group chat come to life.
Yeah.
And I love you, Terry. You're the worst group chat person ever. Because your thoughts are largely incomplete. It was like, BJ's fire Montoyo, genius. Like I read it quickly. I was like, Juan Pablo Montoya got fired because of a blowjob? I don't understand. Like, is he still racing? Wait,
I wrote the BJ's.
I was like, I don't understand what this is. And then like, I paused for like 5 minutes. I was in the grocery store like, oh no, this is what he means. This is what he means. My bad.
I understand, Terry. Yeah.
I had to.
And also like I mute the notifications on that chat, so like I only come in once in a while.
Yeah.
And like I'll ask like today, like I forgot what you were saying, and I disagreed with you. Well, me and Duke both disagreed with you. I forgot what it was.
It was about I said there was no added value to paying broadcasters.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to talk about this because it's not that I disagree with you. Okay. It's just that I feel like people do watch. Like when I look at the UFC, like I used to be like, oh, nice, Joe Rogan is on. I'm going to listen to it because other people do. Like,
you won't enjoy it when he's on. I'm like, I enjoy Tony Romo.
No, but like I'm saying
I will not stop watching football if Tony Romo's not calling.
It's very different. But the thing is, it's not that. It's because you have your 1 o'clock games, right? You have your 1 o'clock games where CBS is competing with Fox. So they're paying for a certain amount of eyeballs to be able to bring, like, not every team is going to be represented, right? So unless you're watching NFL Red Zone, not everybody. It's a small percentage of NFL fans that actually have the NFL Red Zone. Like most people just watch it on cable. Most people watch
the local games. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So when if I hear Tony Romo, if it's between Tony Romo and Jim Nantz or Kenny Albert and whoever the fuck he has,
when are you making the decision of the broadcaster instead of the two teams that are playing? Like you're never saying
when the Cowboys aren't playing and it's not a division game maybe or like an interesting game.
But let's say it's like I don't know, Chiefs
Colts
Bucks.
Texans. Chiefs Bucks.
It's Chiefs Bucks here, but it's not being called by Romo and the Texans. I know this won't happen because the way they schedule these games, but Colts Texans or Colts Jags has Tony Romo. You're not going to switch because Romo's calling the worst 100%, game.
100%.
You're going to stay with a better game, no?
I don't care about the Chiefs and the Bucks. What do I care about them?
Well, because I'd rather watch better football.
No, but that's the thing. That's where we're at now. This is where our argument starts. Because you would rather watch better football. Always. But to me, the NFL has such parity that like I'm watching good football all the time. I understand what you're saying. Like the Bucks and the Chiefs are superiorly better than the Colts and the Texans in this situation, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm listening to Tony Romo because it's also the entire experiment. I'm also a person that when I listen to a bad commentator, it's the only thing I can focus on. Well, and if I'm listening to bad commentators, I can't.
When there's a bad commentator or when Troy Aikman is on, I instantly hit mute.
I love Troy Aikman.
I hate Troy Aikman. I
like Joe Buck. I like Joe Buck.
I love Joe Buck. It's killing me because I actually love Joe Buck on play-by-play.
Yeah.
And I find Troy Aikman adds nothing to the experience.
He's not great, but when he does Cowboys games, he's good though.
He's better on Cowboys games. Absolutely.
Better on Cowboys games.
I just think he's not drunk enough in the booth.
Yeah, just one more drink.
One more Paloma.
One more old fashioned with a little bit of penis twist.
Yeah, a little penis twist. But and that's the thing is like. I think I'm also not the normal sports fan that I always have 3 screens on, and my wife is usually watching something on Netflix. So like, if there's a game where like I don't like the broadcasters, I'll just mute it, and then like my wife will come in and watch something on TV, and I'll be listening to the audio of that while watching the game, or I'll be reviewing our podcast, or I'll be listening to another podcast, or listening to music while watching the game, and that's how I understand. I know most guys don't watch games on mute. I'm a weirdo. I get it.
I only do it with the Alouettes game so I can listen to Marco and Sean on the radio. So I still listen to TSN.
Well, if my friends, like if Mo Khan's calling an Alliance game, for example, I'm always listening, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
If Campbell's when Campbell's on between the periods, it's the only time I'll listen to between the periods is on radio when Campbell's on. Because
especially now that the Alliance games are actually listenable.
Yeah.
The first couple of games was awful.
All right, that was not a very rapid fire. But, all right.
We have to bring our argument to air, Eagle.
I forgot we were rapid fire, yeah.
All right, so next here, Mild Thing. Famous for his trash talk, Nick Kyrgios took to the court during his Wimbledon final and lost his patience for a fan who was trash talking him.
In a Wimbledon final, there's no other bigger occasion.
We have this clip on our channel.
Correct.
Okay, but why is she still here? Because she's drunk out of her mind in the first row, speaking to me in the middle of the game. What's acceptable? Nothing is acceptable. Okay, so kick her out. I don't know which one it is. I know exactly which one it is. So tell me. It's the one in the dress with the one that looks like she's had about 700 drinks, bro.
700 drinks, bro. I love this guy. You have no idea how much I love this guy. He is the sole reason why people should watch tennis. Because the best parts about tennis is the blow-ups, right? The smashing the rackets and all
it's
that.
It's like NASCAR. Right? You watch for the crash.
Yeah, exactly. And I knew that Kyrgios was not going to beat Novak.
Chance.
It was a Greek-on-Greek battle. Kyrgios beat Tsitsipas, who was ranked 4th in the world. And Kyrgios is unranked. Well, unranked. He's not ranked in the top, whatever you need to have a number next to you.
Yeah.
And the fact that he was in the final was crazy. And he's such a good server, too.
When he got there by getting in people's heads, by trash talking. Like, Tsitsipas hit a ball into the crowd because of how infuriated he was with Kyrgios.
Yeah.
Right? So
anyway, I'm a fan. I hope he wins a big one, man. I hope he does. It would have been great if he won Wimbledon, though. It would have been fantastic.
It's pretty wild. In sort of a country club sport, we have a guy who shows up walking around in Jordans, talking about basketball, talking trash the same way guys do when they play, football or street ball or whatever. Those sports where you really like face up with another person. You don't get that a lot in the individual sports because it's an individual sport. You spend so much time practicing by yourself. It's cool to actually see someone get into it that way. I'm enjoying it.
All right, next. Premature. In a Valor FC game, a player was so eager to celebrate a goal, he ended up costing his team that same goal.
Oh.
Speaking of all whites, there goes Dyer. A deflection will sit up nicely for him. Tracks it down, opens up to his right boot. The cross towards Ricci. Second effort, it dribbles it. No! Did Akio clear that off the line himself? What in the world? Ricci had that going. Akio was trying to make sure it got over the goal line, and in the end, has a goal line stand. I just realized what he did.
He kicked it before across the line.
I don't think I've ever seen that before. That is clearly going in. Willie gets there, and yes, he keeps it out himself.
How did he do that?
Speaking of all whites,
there's no reason for you to do that.
I know it's worse than Deshaun Jackson. I don't get it.
It's like one of those kids who gets an interception when he's 10 years old in football and he runs the other way. Or
J.R. Smith in the finals going to the basket. Yeah. Like it's that level, right? Like but I've never quite seen it that way. He accelerates to kick the ball out of the goal, and then he starts celebrating the goal. Did he think it went in already? I
think he wanted to kick it in to make sure it goes in. He wanted to get the goal, and then he realized he kicked it out, and he was pointing to the line like, "Oh no, it crossed already." But I don't think it had. What an idiot, dummy!
And last one here: drop anchor. Guys, we've all had moments where we have a little bit too much to drink at an office party, and the afternoon's not so great. But it's different if you work on live television or, for example, have to anchor the weekly news. Let's watch this clip and see if you can make it through it. I definitely couldn't, but maybe you have a better chance than me. We'll find out.
More than 50 million people across the country's southeast are under warnings for excessive heat. And boy, don't you know that? 105 degrees in Texas today. I just spoke with my mother. That's what she's dealing with. It's a major heat wave. And it's just heading everywhere. We're so lucky. It's only 80 degrees here. We are really lucky here in the capital region. I mean, let me tell you about that. These areas are reaching such areas. I mean, it's Houston, Austin, San Antonio, I mean, they're not expected. It has happened. Like, you don't need us telling you that it's bad. It's like people are being told to like stay inside, drink a lot of water, and we are just lucky. This weekend right here is so amazing. Meteorologist Craig Adams is right here with you.
But also, like,
Craig Adams. Why did I say that? Of course, clearly, like here we're taking a live look over downtown Albany, and of course, just like me, meteorologist Craig Gold is working a double shift, and so he's in, and we've been tracking this, and you know we've been talking about just like what it's been like across the country and the different reasons that why it's so hot in other areas, and we're having really nice weather here. So let's get over to Craig Gold. Hey,
yep.
Craig.
All right, good evening, Heather. And yeah, the weather has been quite nice here across the Northeast.
What's his name?
Craig Gold. She called him Craig Adams.
Was she hammered?
Oh, hammered. Completely hammered. Guaranteed. She hands it over to the meteorologist, and she turns to her producer and is like, I killed it.
This tweet is the best part.
Which part?
That one right there that she tweets. Her schedule.
My favorite part is that she's rambling so long, they started recycling the footage.
Yeah.
Like you need to, I guess, like, because we're like in this, right? Like we understand how this all works. We know that they had to loop the video because she'd been talking so long. And then the other thing was that she was talking about how this was affecting her mother specifically. There's so many great parts. It's hard to imagine what everyone's favorite part is because there's so much gold in there. There's Craig Gold.
She reminds me of, you know, like those drunk girls that when they just start like talking shit to you and they just ramble.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she reminds me of. She's like, well, you don't even know like what you're talking about. And then why was she like rubbing it into Houston that Albany had good weather? Or like, what the hell is the point of that?
She like really starts trash talking Houston.
She's like, we had great weather this week. Like,
great weather.
You
See
guys.
how good it is, Houston? See how much you suck?
Losers.
Yeah. I think if you watch that clip, it's like, you know when you stare at a beautiful painting and every time you stare at it, you notice something more and more impressive. Like you're looking at Van Gogh and you're like, my God, this guy is such a genius. Every time I look at Starry Night, I notice more and more and more. Every time I see that video clip, Terry, I notice more and more and more hilarity. She is a true artist.
True artist.
She has resigned, by the way. So
of course she
is.
Listen, man, the best artists in their time were never appreciated in their prime. So
that's a good point.
There we go. I don't think that was a good point. Terry, thanks for joining us. Thank you for that news anchor. She weighed the show down. She was the actual anchor.
Thank you to Zack Wilson's mom for having a friend.
Yeah. Not all heroes wear capes, although she might have been wearing a cape.
Zack Wilson's definitely wearing a cape. And also, thank you to Zack Wilson for showing everybody that it could be done.
It can be. It can be. Stifler's mom. I want to thank Stifler's mom, and I want to thank those of you who have liked, subscribed, followed, rated, reviewed, done all those wonderful things. If you have not done it yet, please do so. And most of all, thank you all for letting me be myself. You've been listening to Hot Sauce Sports.